Hello, everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Good. Did you have a good week?
Yes.
Did anybody have birthdays in the last week?
Yes, we had one yesterday.
Yeah, that's good. Satya, was it your birthday?
I had my birthday party, but my birthday's next week.
Oh, that's good. When is your birthday?
The 23rd.
The 23rd. Okay. Well, happy birthday to you. So next Sunday actually will be your birthday, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. So we can all wish you. Anybody else who has birthdays in January and February that we missed?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Who is that?
Me.
Atisha's birthday is on Tuesday. That's wonderful. Okay. So we'll actually get started with today's shloka. So Atisha's birthday and then Satya's birthday. Who else has birthdays coming up or who had birthday in January? Okay, so we can all offer our prayers and offer our sincerest wishes for our friends whose birthdays are coming up, Satya and Atisha. And we pray that you always remain protected, always remain sheltered by the Lord, and you get happiness in every sphere of life, spiritual happiness and material happiness. All right, so we'll get started with our opening prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so now I request everyone to please unmute their mics and we will go over all the shlokas that we have learned till now. So everyone feel free to remove the mute button on your mic, and everyone is also welcome to turn on their videos so we can see you and we can interact with you. Okay, very nice. So we are only going to read the Sanskrit and English and move on to the next verse, okay?
Mhm.
All right, we'll start with 1.1. Dhritarashtra Dharmakshetre
Guru
Samavetaयुयुत्सवः Samaka Pandavaयुceta
Sanjaya.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after
After
my
my sons
father
and the sons of the temple in the place of
had
pilgrimage at the Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
they do. Okay, next verse. Karpanyadoshopahatā svabhava Rashtrasamudasya Bhakte
Yacheyasani Shetomaya
Ishyate Hamsadimam Tvam Prapannam. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this position, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct
instruct me.
me. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashotyanandashosha Pragyan Shabhashase Tatastu Gunagata Suncha Anushtutanti. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Paris, great virtue are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise
living neither for the
are
dead.
dead. Next. Natva evaham jnasmi natvam
Not from man, Anutupa,
natyam
Nateva Nava,
Vayam param. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all
These things, nor in the future shall anyone cease to be.
these. Dehinos menyatade Kaumaram Yovananata Prasadyantaram Virastatra. As the embodied soul continued to practice in this body,
this body from
avoid
birth to
youth to old age.
The soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change.
Matrasparshaspaunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agamapayanidya Mam Srishti O son of Kunti,
The
non-permanent
non-permanent appearance of
Birth of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due
disappearance
course are
of
like
course,
the appearance and
and
disappearance in winter
disappearance
and
of
summer
winter
season.
and summer
They
season.
arise from the
Derive from
sense
sense
right
perception.
perception.
O
By
of
Bharata,
Siana, thou must to learn to
and
tolerate
one
them
must
without
learn
being
to
disturbed.
without being disturbed.
them without being disturbed.
thank you. Thank you everyone for reading and thank you for joining. So we are going to learn a new verse today. This verse is also from the second chapter. This is the 20th verse of the second chapter. We will start by breaking down the words first. So I'll say the word and everyone can repeat after me. Na
No.
jayate
Jayati
niyate
Niyati
va
va
kadachin
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 ayam
nayam
bhutva
bhutva
bhavita
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 va
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 nabhuya.
nabhuya.
Nabuya.
1 second. Nabhuya. Ajo
Ajo
nitya
Nitya
shashvato
Nashvata
Shashvata
yam
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 purano
Purana
Puranam
na
nam
hanyate
hanyati
hanyamane
hanyamani
Hanyamani
sharire.
Sarire.
Okay, very nice. So we learn how to recite this verse, then we'll go to the word to word meaning. Okay, so we'll start with the first line. We'll recite it once together, a few times, 2 more times. Okay. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
न जायते
ते म्रियते कदाचित्
कदाचित्
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
न जायते
जायते
कदाचित्
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित्
Okay, very nice. We'll go to the second line. नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया 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 नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया
नायं
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा
न भूया
अजो नेक्स्ट लाइन अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो अजो
अजो
नित्य
नित्यः पुराणो
अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
अजो नित्याश्रमायं पुराणो
पुराणो अजो नित्य
नित्य
शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
अजो नित्याश्रमायं पुराणो
लास्ट न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे हन्यमाने शरीरे न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
शरीरे
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न
हन्यते हन्यमाने Okay, now we'll say the first two lines together. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया
यते
म्रियते वा
कदाचित्
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् भविता वा न भूया
न जायते
जायते म्रियते वा
कदाचित्
कदाचिन्
नयं
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया One more time, okay? न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया न जायते म्रियते वा
कदाचित्
कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया Okay, go to the next two lines. अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. We'll say this three.
अजो नित्यस्वातोऽयं पुराणो न
न
हन्यते
हन्यते
हन्यमाने
हन्यमाने
शरीरे
शरीरे. अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
जो
हन्यते
नित्यशस्वयं पुराणो
अजो
पुराणो
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
शिरे
Okay, we'll say it one more time. अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे अजो
अहोनित्या शाश्वतोऽयं
पुराणो
नाहन्यते
नाहन्यते
हन्यमाने
माने
शरीरे.
Okay, now we'll say the whole verse. We'll say it 3 times and then we'll move on to translation. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयात् अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे न जायते म्रियते वा
नयं भूत्वा भवितवान् भूय शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते शरीरे. You okay?
Say it 2 more times. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे न जायते
ते
देवा कदाचित् नायं
नायं
भूत्वा
भूत्वा
भविता वा न
भवितवान्
भूया
भूय आजो
शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
One time. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूया अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
नयं
भविता वा न
भवितवान् भूय
भूया
आजो
अजोनित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
पुराणो न
न
हन्यते
हन्यमाने
शरीरे.
Thank you everyone for participating in recitation. Now we'll go to the synonyms, meaning word to word meanings. So we'll say the word, we can all unmute and say it together, okay? So we can say the word and the translation next to it, and we can move on just like that. Na,
No.
never.
Never.
Jayate,
Jayate
takes birth.
takes birth.
Mriyate,
Mriyate
dies.
dies.
Va,
Va
either.
either.
Kadachit,
Kadachit
At
at any time, past, present, or future.
any time, past, present, or future.
future.
Na,
No. No.
never.
Never.
Ayam,
I am
this.
this.
Bhutva,
Bhutva,
having come into being.
having
Having
come
come into be.
Bhavita,
Bhavita
will come to be.
will come to be.
Va,
Va,
or.
or
Na,
no,
not.
not.
Bhuya,
Bhuya
or is again coming to be.
Or is again
again
coming to be.
Aja,
Aja,
unborn.
unborn.
unborn. Nitya,
Eternal.
Eternal.
Ashwata,
Ashwata
permanent.
permanent.
Ayam,
I am
this.
this.
Purana,
Burana,
The oldest.
The
oldest.
Na,
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 never.
never.
Hanyate
Hanyate,
is killed.
Is killed.
Hanyamane,
Haryamane.
being killed.
Being killed.
killed.
Tire,
Sharire.
the body.
The body.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Any volunteers for reading the translation? Do I see any hands up? Okay, Anmay's hand is up. Yes, Anmay, you can read the translation.
For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, nor does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Thank you, Anmay. Who else? Samanyu wants to read. Yes, Samanyu. You're mute, Samanyu. We can't hear you.
For the soul there is neither birth nor death. At any time, he has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and permanent. He is not slain when the body is slain.
That's very good. Thank you. Yes, Dhvani and Dhruv.
Brother. No. Go. You have to.
So there is neither birth nor death at
Oh,
any time.
wow.
He has
Answer.
not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and perennial. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Thank you, Dhvani. That was very nice. Yes, Atisha.
For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He is not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Thank you. Yes, Ashi.
For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come to being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Okay, thank you, Ashi. Yes, Ruhanika and Aradhya.
For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Thank you. Yes, Sameer's hand is up. Yes, Sameer. You can unmute yourself.
To the go, just go. It's easy. Which one? This one, Samson. Okay. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, until ever existing, and primal. He is not slain when the body is slain. Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful job, everyone. So we're going to learn a little bit about this verse. And for that, we're going to see this slide. And we're going to look at a few slides here, okay? So this is the verse that you just learned today. And Actually, Bhagavad Gita, starting from second chapter 11th verse to second chapter 30th verse, is talking about the differences between the body and soul. So we learned a little bit in the previous classes also, and we're going to learn few more verses in the upcoming classes about what is the difference between the body and the soul. And how did this topic come up? This is actually the very first instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, the differences between body and soul. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is lamenting, right? And actually, Krishna starts his instruction by telling him what are the differences. And because of these differences, you should not lament, should not feel sad for the body. So, the material body is perishable. Anybody knows what is the meaning of perishable? I cannot see y'all. So, you just feel free to unmute if you know the answer.
Destroyable. It can turn into.
You know you're gonna be open getting called on, right?
The body dies, right?
Thumbs
The
up.
body
By the way,
can
it's a
perish, grows old. Okay.
oops.
So it's just like changing. So it's just like changing of clothes. So when this body becomes old, just like when our clothes become old, they tear, when they become useless, we take them off and we put on new clothes. Similarly, when this body becomes old and useless, cannot function, cannot do anything, the soul takes off that body, or the soul comes out of that body and takes on a new body. So that is the condition of the material body. This body that we have, that we can feel and touch, this body is perishable, it's temporary. But the soul, it never dies. So, this material body, there are 6 changes that happen in the material body. So, this body undergoes birth, it undergoes existence, there is growth, right? The body grows. All of you are in a growing age of the body. It produces byproducts. So you can see that sometimes the bodies produce babies, right? The fish has many eggs. It produces byproducts. Babies are born, right? So producing of byproducts, dwindling. So it just dwindles in the old age, and then death. So these are the 6 changes that the body undergoes. But the soul, so especially verses number 23 to 25, discuss the qualities of the soul, which is eternal, it never dies. So the soul actually cannot be cut by weapons. Can you cut the body with weapons? Yes? I think Ashi has lots to tell us. Right, Ashi? Can you cut the body with the weapons? Yes, the body can be cut, but the soul cannot be cut with the weapons. What about the body? Can it be burned by fire? Can you burn the body? It can get burned, right? The body, but the soul cannot be burned. The body can get wet, right? But the soul cannot get wet. It cannot be moistened by water, and the body withers by the wind. So we can see that there are trees and sometimes plants, and the wind flies past it, and it changes shape sometimes, right? So the soul cannot be withered by the wind. Then also the soul is unbreakable, and the soul is insoluble. It's everlasting. It never dies, the soul, and it's unchangeable. It exists everywhere. So the soul is also immovable, it is eternally the same, and it's also imperceptible. Can you see the soul? Has anyone seen the soul? No, we cannot perceive it with our senses, with our eyes, nose, ears, taste. We cannot perceive that the soul is there, but it's actually there. So that's the quality of the soul, that we cannot perceive it with our senses. And it's immutable. That means the soul does not multiply. The soul remains uh, singular. Okay? So we're going to see some pictures here. This is the size of the soul. Can someone tell me what is written on the screen? What is the size of the soul? Yes, Ashi?
1/10,000 of upper point of a hair.
Yeah. So everybody can pull out, can you pull out a strand of hair from your hair? Can everyone pull out a strand of hair and and try to, you see how tiny it is?
I'll go
It's
get a pair of scissors.
tiny.
Don't, Daxel.
Okay, do you see the
Brother.
tip? Maybe the boys can't because your hairs are so tiny.
How dare you?
But but the girls can actually see the tip of the hair, right? Can you, who all can see the tip of their hair right now? I can see. Okay, I see lots of hands up. Okay. Oh, Satya has a scissor in his hand. Satya, you want to be careful. We're not asking to do a haircut right now. Okay. So can everyone see the whoever can see the tip of their hair? The soul, the size of the soul, according to our scriptures, is 1/10,000, right? We have heard of 1/2. How many of you know fractions? Okay, you've heard of 1/2, right? You've heard of 1/4,
Yes.
1/8, 1/10. So just like that, 1/10,000. So it's so tiny. The soul is actually super duper tiny. You can't even see the tip of your hair. Just with difficulty, you can see the tip of the hair, and plus it's 1/10,000 of the size. So that's how tiny the spirit soul is. Okay, let's see the next slide. So these are the 6 transformations of the body. So our body, we just learned, is very temporary. And we can see that first, the spirit soul, it goes in the womb of a mother into a little fetus in the mother's womb. And then, as you can see, the baby is born, right? Birth, existence, growth. Then that baby grows in size, right? It produces some effects. So some byproducts are produced. You can grow a family with the help of this body, and then gradually it dwindles. So the soul struggles, right, to live for some time. So many miseries, our parents go through so much in their whole life, right? Disease, it goes through old age, then it goes through so many issues, so many things, so many challenges the body has to deal with throughout the whole life. And then finally the time comes when the body has to perish, the body has to die. But it's just like Bhagavad Gita says, it is just like discarding old clothes, useless clothes, because the body is temporary, the clothes are useless. So it leaves the old body and goes into a new body in a new mother's womb. So, as you can see here, the soul is passing through different bodies at different stages of life. And at the time of death, it leaves the old body and it goes into a new, fresh body of a baby. So, like that, it can pass into so many different species of life. It can pass into so many other species of life, such as, the birds, the insects. How many different kinds of plants and animals do we know, right? So it can get into any species depending on our activities, how we use our human form of life. Okay, so next. So this is another picture of the 6 transformations of the body. So we can see that the body is born. You can see the little baby here. It grows, right? The baby is growing. It stays for some time. It produces byproducts. So when it's old enough, it can produce babies. Then it begins to decay. So the body gets old. And the last thing is the body dies. The body is made of the 5 elements of this world, material elements. What is that sentence from the Bible? That we come from this earth, and to earth we will go back, right? So this body returns back to the earth, and then the soul enters a new body, a fresh body. So next is, you can see there are 2 kinds of souls. There is the Anu Atma and there is a Vibhu Atma. So in our bodies, there are 2 kinds of souls in our bodies. Did you know that? Did you know that you had 2 kinds of souls? So one Atma is the Anu Atma, which is our soul, right? The spirit soul, the Jeev Atma, and the Vibhu Atma is the super soul or the Paramatma, and that is Krishna. So Krishna is also within our heart in the form, and he's guiding our soul. He's guiding the spirit soul. So this was a little talk about the soul, because the first instruction, the very first lesson that Krishna gives Arjuna is about that of the spirit soul. So anybody can read this? Any volunteers to read this? Wait, I'll have to open your picture. I can't see any of you actually. Ansh? Okay. Yes, Dhruv and Dhvani, you can read.
There are two kinds of souls, namely the minute particle soul, Anu Atma, and the super soul, Vibhu Atma. This is also confirmed in the Katha Upanishad 1.2.20 in this way. Anor Aniyam Mahato Mahiyam Atmasya Janato Nihito Guhayam Tam akrata pasyati vitasoko dhatu prasadan mahi manam atmana. Both the super soul, Paramatma, and the atomic soul, Jivatma, are situated on the same tree of the body within the same heart of the living being. And only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul.
Okay, thank you so much. That's wonderful. So, these 2 kinds of soul, the soul of, so there is the super soul and there is the Anu Atma and the Vibhu Atma. So, the soul and the minute particle soul and the super soul. So, Krishna is actually also the source. So, we are hearing about Dash Avatar, right? 10 avatars of Vishnu. So, so Krishna is also the source of the super soul, which is in everyone's heart. It's in your heart, it is in Dhwani's heart, in Dhruv's heart, in Khushi's heart, in Rohanika and Aradhya's heart, Ashi's heart, Vrinda's heart, Atisha's heart, Satya, Nandini, Nandika, all of us, we all have the super soul in our heart, and along with our own soul. So, similarly, Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is representing the atomic soul or the Jivatma, and he's forgetting his real nature, and therefore he's turning to the super soul, Krishna, who is guiding him. So, similarly, we can also access Krishna's instruction by praying to him. If we pray to Krishna who is in our heart, if we pray to Krishna who is in the temple, he will also guide us when we are seeking his help. When we feel lost and confused, we can pray to Krishna. Okay? So, moving on to today's Dash Avatar, we're going to speak about Parshuram. Okay? So we will be quick with this because Parshuram, actually, we know only very little about the 10 avatars, but we'll speak about Parshuram. So Parshuram is a form of the Supreme Lord when he was born as a warrior. Okay. So he was born, he came to this world, he appeared in this world as a divine warrior. So, Parshuram, he's the sixth avatar. So, we'll move on to the next slide. So, this is a little prayer written by Jaidev Goswami. This is the sixth shloka of the Dash Avatar Stotra. I'll quickly read the Sanskrit and we can all unmute and read the English. Okay? क्षत्रियरुधिरमये जगदपगतपापम्
Snapana.
स्नपयसि शमितभवतापम् केशवधिता भृगुपतिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे. Okay, everyone is welcome to unmute and read the translation. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe,
O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Rivati Parshrama, all glories to you at Kurukshetra, the bathed the earth in rivers of blood, and the bodies of he dominant Kshatriyas that have slain the sins of world who are washed away by you. And because of you, people are relieved through and the blazing fire of material existence.
People are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for reading. So I'm going to actually share one screen here. This is about Parshuram. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. So okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna share the screen. Can you all see the screen? Parshuram avatar. So Parshuram, he's the one with the axe. He's the sixth avatar of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. He was born to a great sage. He was born in the family of Brahmanas, and he himself was a Brahmana. He came as a Brahmana. So he was born to the sage Jamadagni and his wife Renuka. So you can see Jamadagni and Renuka in this picture. And Parshuram, he had Jamadagni and Renuka had 5 sons, out of which Parshuram was the first son. And he was the last son. Okay, so he was the last son, and he was very loyal to his parents. He was very devoted to his parents. He loved his parents so much, and he wanted to serve his parents very nicely. So we can see that he also had brothers. He had 4 more brothers. Their names were Rumanvant, Sushena, Vasu Vasu, and Vishwavasu. So he had 4 brothers. So, and he was very devoted to his parents. He had a lot of love for his parents and for his brothers, lot of love for his family. And you can see here in this picture how nicely he is serving his father. He's washing his lotus feet and he's worshipping his father. So, actually, this Parshuram, he worshipped Lord Shiva once. And Lord Shiva, he gave him a gift. Lord Shiva was very pleased with his austerities and he gave him a gift of an axe. So Parashu means axe in Sanskrit, and Ram means the Lord Ram. So basically, he's not Lord Ram. His name is Parshuram because he was the yielder of the axe. He received a special axe from Lord Shiva. So once what happened was there was a king. His name was Kartavira Arjuna. So this Kartavira Arjuna, he was a very powerful warrior. And it is said he was very famous actually for defeating Ravana, who had 10 heads. So Kartavira Arjuna, said that he had the power of having 1,000 arms. And with these 1,000 arms, he was able to defeat a lot of great people. He was a very powerful warrior. So once this king, you can see this king is sitting here in the blue dress. So he came and he went hunting with his soldiers to the forest. So in those days, kings used to go hunting in the forest as a sport. It was their hobby. So that's what they did. So he went to the forest. He went hunting, and he saw. He was very hungry. So he saw the ashram or the home of Jamadagni, this great sage Jamadagni, and he went and he asked for some food. So Jamadagni, he actually had a very special cow. Anybody knows the name of this cow? Okay, Dhruv. Surbi. Okay, no. Anybody else knows the name of this cow? Okay, Ansh's hand is up. Sit up.
Kamadhenu.
Yes. So he had this special cow called Kamadhenu cow. And this Kamadhenu cow means wish fulfilling cow. So this cow can fulfill any wish that one had. So Jamadagni went and he was gifted this cow by Indra. So Indra is the king of the heavenly planets, and he gifted this cow to Jamadagni, this wish fulfilling cow. So anything one desires, this cow can give you. Isn't it nice to have a cow like that who can fulfill all your desires? That's so exciting. You can ask this cow anything you want, right? Pokemon cards and whatnot. So anyway, I'm just joking. So this cow was a wish fulfilling cow, and this Jamadagni, he asked this cow to feed his guests. So he had Kartavira Arjuna, all his soldiers, you can see, are sitting there, and this cow prepared a wonderful feast. Such a wonderful feast that Kartavira Arjuna was thinking in his mind that, oh, actually, such a feast is not even there in my palace. I live in the palace in a big kingdom, and nobody can prepare such a wonderful feast even in my own palace. Then a evil thought comes to his mind. He thinks to himself, let's see what the next picture is, that I want this cow. So he becomes so greedy that he decides that I'm going to take this cow by force. So actually, he goes and he asks, he and his soldiers, they go and ask Jamadagni that, can we please take this cow? We really like your cow. And Jamadagni says, no, of course, it's my cow. Why would I give it to you? I need this cow. So Kartavira Arjuna then says, okay, then we are going to take this cow by force. So he became so greedy that he decided to hurt Jamadagni. He hurt him, he created so many bruises on his body, and they pulled Kamdhenu cow away by force. You can see his soldiers are pulling the Kamdhenu cow, right? And one of the soldiers is beating up Jamadagni. You can see Jamadagni lying down on the floor, right? And his wife is wailing. She's feeling so sad that, oh my God, what did these people do to my husband? When Parshuram hears about what happened to his father, he comes right away. And it is said, this Kartavira Arjuna, he had 1,000 arms. You can see here. Uh, this Parshuram, he comes and he takes his axe, this very special axe of his, which was gifted to him by Lord Shiva, and he cuts off Kartavira Arjuna's arms and head for hurting his father and stealing the cow of his father. And then that was the end of Kartavira Arjuna. So actually, Parshuram, he's very famous actually for killing the demoniac kings in this world, the ungodly kings of this world, and it is said that he did this 21 times. He got rid of this world of demoniac kings. So when you don't have good kings in the kingdom, if a country does not have a good leader, then you can see that how the country is suffering. You can see that how the people in the country are suffering. There are a lot of crimes, there's a lot of bad things going on in the whole kingdom. So it is very important that cruel kings, demoniac kings are gotten rid of, and that you have pious, saintly kings in the country. So, and that is very good for the country. It's very beneficial. A lot of things fructify. You have plenty of food items, you have plenty of opulence and riches in the country when you have a saintly leader in the country. So, for the sake of keeping, pious, for preserving piety in the country, in the kingdom, um, Parshuram, as a dutiful Brahmana, he was very well read. He studied the science of weapons very well, Parshuram. And it is said that Parshuram also comes in the Ramayana, and he also comes in the Mahabharata. And it is said that he was a mentor for great fighters such as Bhima, Drona, and Karna. So he's said to be someone who preserves dharma, someone who preserves righteousness. So if there are evil people around, Parshuram actually, or during his time when he was here on this planet, he got rid of evil kings and he established dharma by establishing pious kings. And it was said that he had a lot of noble qualities. And the best of one of those noble qualities, that he was very, very devoted to his family. And we can see he was especially devoted to his father. So, by the story, there's actually a story that we should all know. His mother, Renuka, once went to the Ganges, the Ganga, and she was going there to fetch some water for some uses at home. And there she saw a Gandharva, one of the heavenly residents, a very handsome fellow. His name was Chitrangada. And she briefly became very attracted to him. And then she checked herself. She said, "Oh no, why am I attracted to someone who is not my husband?" And Jamadagni actually came to know about this. And Jamadagni wanted to teach his, righteousness. So during this time, Satya Yoga, there was a lot of righteousness. There was a lot of emphasis on good character and good behavior. So he wanted to teach the world a lesson. So he asked his sons to cut the head of his wife and kill the wife. But none of the sons agreed. They said, "No, we are not going to do it." But Parshuram, he turned to Parshuram and he said, "Parshuram, you have to cut the head of Renuka." And Parshuram, without thinking twice, he cut the head of Renuka. So this shows how much Parshuram was devoted to his father, Jamadagni. And later on, when Jamadagni saw that his devotion of Parshuram towards him, towards the father, Jamadagni was very pleased with Parshuram. And he asked Parshuram, "I would like to grant you something." So he was a very powerful sage. These are very powerful sages of that time. And so he asked Parshuram, "What would you like? Because of your devotion that you've shown towards me, I feel very happy with you, and I would like to give you something." And Parshuram says, I would like the life of my mother back, and I would like the life of my brothers back." And Jamadagni granted this wish of Parshuram. So as you can see, Parshuram, he was very devoted to his father. He was very devoted to his mother and his brothers. And he respected them a lot. He worshipped them a lot. He also, fought with Kshatriya warriors, even though he was a Brahmana. But because Brahmanas are expected to provide the guidance to, preserve good qualities in the society. And sometimes, if the Kshatriyas don't listen, if they're not doing their job, if they're not protecting Dharma as the kings of the country, then the Brahmanas have the right to kill these bad, evil kings. And that was the duty of Parshuram. That is why Lord took the form of Parshuram and appeared in this world. So that's the end of the story of Parshuram. I want to share one slide with all of you, because you have, all of you ask very nice questions about, oh, where is it gone? Where is our PowerPoint?
Turn using tab.
How do I go
New
there?
tab.
Sorry. Yeah. So I just want to share, because all of you ask very nice questions about, is Lord Vishnu the source, or is Krishna the source of all the incarnations? So I have a very nice slide here for you. So this, actually, every time there is some trouble on the earth, actually we are very heavily dependent on the demigods. We must, work in a way where humans, our scriptures have provided guidelines in which humans are meant to cooperate with the demigods. And the demigods are all devotees, they're all rulers of different aspects of this material world. Like, for example, the sun god, the Surya Dev, manages amount of sunshine we get, right? The power of the sun. There is the moon god, Somadev, Vayu Dev, Agni Dev, fire god. So all these different demigods have different roles. Then there is Indradev. He manages the rains that we get. So whenever they see that the humans are not cooperating, there are a lot of demoniac kings or demoniac people in the society. All these demigods, they approach. You can see all of them are standing here. You can see Lord Ganesh is also here, right? So all of them come together, headed by Brahmaji. So Brahma has 4 heads. This is Lord Brahma. Actually, Brahma has 4 heads in our universe. There are many other universes where he has different number of heads. So this is in our universe. You can see all of them are following Lord Brahma. Lord Shiva is also here behind Lord Brahma. And they all pray to Shirodakshai Vishnu. They all go to the ocean of milk and they pray to Shirodakshai Vishnu that please, please, Lord Vishnu, please incarnate, please come on this world, in this world, to protect our planet, to protect us from all these demoniac beings on earth. They're causing a lot of disturbance, they're causing a lot of unrest, they're causing a lot of wars, they're torturing a lot of people. So please, please, Krishna, come and protect us. So this is what happens when the demigods, since they're devotees of the Lord, they approach the Lord, and the Lord takes various forms in different time frames. And you can see here Krishna in this flow chart here. All of you are seeing the flow chart? Yes? So you can see in this flow chart, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So his very first expansion, so all this whole chart has been taken from our scriptures and especially from our Brahma Samhita. So Krishna, as you can see, his very first expansion is Balaram, his brother, right? Balram appears as brother, and actually Balram, from Balram comes the 4 Chaturvyuhas. So the first Chaturvyuha, that is Aniruddha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, and Pradyumna. So from these 4 Chaturvyuhas comes Narayan. And from Narayan, you can see another second Chaturvyuha comes. Again, Aniruddha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, and Mahasankarshan and Pradyumna. And from there come the 3 Purusha avatars. So the 3 Vishnus come from this, from Narayan. So you can see these are all expansions and expansions and they're called multiple expansions of Krishna. So when our demigods, they go and worship, they pray to Lord Vishnu to please come as an incarnation, they actually go to Shirodakshai Vishnu. You see this here, this Vishnu here on the chart, Shirodakshai Vishnu. He's the Vishnu that lies in the ocean of milk. Garbhodakshai Vishnu lies at the bottom of our universe, Garbhodaka ocean, and that is the source of Brahma and Shiva. But Shirodakshai Vishnu is the source of all the incarnations. So, whatever incarnations that you know of, you see here the 10 main incarnations: Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, Vamana, Parshuram. Today we learned the 6th incarnation, Parshuram. So these are the Leela avatars. Similarly, there are unlimited expansions of Lord Vishnu. And actually, Shirodakshai Vishnu as Paramatma, we heard about Paramatma today, is residing in each and every one of our hearts. So you can take a picture of this. If you like this chart, you can take a picture of it and look at it in more detail. When the time comes, we can go more into more details of how Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And Balaram and Radharani are actually expansions from Krishna. and how the Shakti tattvas come from Radharani, and how the Vishnu tattvas or the Vishnu incarnations of the Lord come from Balaram. So this is what I wanted to share with you all, because all of you ask many times that are these incarnations coming from Krishna or are they coming from Vishnu? So actually the answer is both, but Krishna is the original source. Okay? Does that make sense to all of you? Okay. Yes, Dhruv, your hand is up for quite some time. Tell me.
How can Pradyumna come from Balrama? Because isn't he the eldest son of Krishna?
That's a very good question. So that is also expansion of Krishna. If he's the son, he's also an expansion of Krishna. And we'll come to that. We will come and discuss, because these are very difficult to understand in the first go. There are many layers and layers of knowledge behind this. So, but this is the basic framework. This is the basic understanding. So Pradyumna, yes, he's an expansion of Krishna. We should just understand that much. Okay, for now. All right. And then, yeah, so this is what I wanted to share. And actually, I wanted to share one song with you. Do you want to learn a song? Dashavatar song? We can learn one song here real quick and then we will end, okay? So we'll sing it like this. So you can remember all the names of the 10 avatars. You ready? Okay. Matsya Kurma Varaha Narsimha Dev and Vamana Parshuram and Rama Balaram and Buddha. Kalki is the last of all who comes in Kali Yuga. Do you like it? Okay, so we'll sing it one more time. Whoever knows can sing, and then we'll revise in the future also, okay? Matsya Kurma Varaha Narsimha Dev and Vamana Parshuram and Rama Balaram and Buddha. Kalki is the last of all who comes in Kali Yuga. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. That is the end of our class. Thank you. We'll meet next week. Next week, we are going to talk about Lord Shiva. So please come. It's Shivratri. Okay? We will talk next week about Lord Shiva. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare
Thank you. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.